Are you currently bored in the house? Are you in the house bored? Bored in the house? Are you in the house bored? Well, okay, then I have the perfect DIY for you. Can you guess what it is? Come on, guess. It's tie-dyeing old white or light colored clothes that you don't wear anymore. Just keep watching for how to do it. Hey guys, it's Julia here and I'm back again with another video. Since we're still all stuck at home, I decided what better video to do than a fun little DIY, throwing it back to my DIY days. So I decided to show you 5 different ways you can tie-dye old clothes, like this one. Basically, you can just grab any old white t-shirts you have, sweatshirts, sweatpants, tank tops, whatever old light colored or white colored clothes that you have. And I'm gonna show you 5 different methods to get different patterns for your DIY. I just ordered this DIY kit from Amazon and this one. I only really used this one because it seemed really easy and non-toxic to use, and I will link both of these DIY kits in the description bar, as well as the sweatshirt that I'm wearing and all the clothes that I got, because currently I'm not at my house, so I just had to do a quick Amazon order. So basically a link to every clothing item and DIY kit is in the description box below. I got everything on Amazon because, I don't know, fast shipping. Side note, the DIY kit that I used was a little runny, so I'm also gonna link another one that's even better down below in case you run into the same problems I had. It's perfectly fine if you're not mixing too many colors together, but if you're mixing more than 2 colors together, then you might have some muddiness. But if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notifications because I post a new video every Saturday at 3 p.m. EST, which is 12 p.m. PST. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and now let's just go ahead and get into the DIYs. So the first DIY we're doing is on an oversized sweatshirt in a rainbow splatter pattern. So here's what you're gonna need for this. So we're going to take the sweatshirt and wrap it into a whirlpool looking swirl and then place rubber bands all around it until it's secure, as tight as possible. And then after I had the rubber bands fully secure, I just took the rainbow colors. I took pink, red, green, and blue, and then I just kind of filled it in like a pizza pie but left a space between each piece of the pie so that way the colors wouldn't run together. Also, the dye from this kit kind of is very runny, so be mindful of that. You might not want to use as many colors as I did because it has a tendency to mix together and get kind of muddy, which you don't want to happen. And then once I filled in the front, then I flipped it over and filled in the back the same way I did the front. And then I put it in a plastic bag.
Tomorrow.
And after 24 hours, we can take it out of the plastic bag and take off our rubber bands and see what we have. Ta-da! Now it's time to rinse it off, then run it through the washing machine. And then the dryer to completely secure our colors. Here's the before. And now here's our after, our final result. So for this one, I took a baggy t-shirt and we did a purple box pattern. So here's what you're gonna need for this one. I'm only using one color on this, so we're gonna be folding the shirt in a kind of accordion style way and just folding it back and forth, back and forth. And now I'm gonna take a wooden piece and put it on each side and then rubber band it in sort of like, I don't know how to explain it, but put lots of rubber bands. You want it to be very secure. And now I'm gonna take my purple, fill it up with some water, put it in a bucket, and put a little more water in the bucket. And now we're gonna soak it completely in the purple color and put it in a bag.
Tomorrow.
And again, after 24 hours, we can now take it out of the bag and take off all the rubber bands and our wooden pieces and see our final result. See, it leaves like these like white squares, which kind of turns into more of like stripes when you actually open it. And now we're gonna rinse it off and run it through the washing machine and then the dryer, just like we did with the last one. Here's our before, and now our after. I think this one was my favorite because it was a set, so we're gonna be doing the crinkle and scrunch method. So here's what you need for this one. You basically just need like a matching set of white sweats, and we're going to be crinkling and scrunching the pants up and placing rubber bands as we go, and just kind of crinkling and scrunching it more and more as we get it condensed because you want it to be as condensed as possible, basically. And now we're going to do the same thing on the hoodie as we did the pants so they can look as identical as possible. Here's our rubber band pieces, and now we're going to fill up the dye with some water, shake it up, and just place it on as sporadically and randomly as possible because you want it to look like splatter paint almost like splatter paint. And then flip it to the other side and do the same splatter type of pattern. And you want to get as much blue as possible because a lot of the white is in between the folds. So once we're done tie-dyeing, we're going to place them in bags again, like we did with all the others.
Tomorrow.
And open them up after 24 hours to our final result. Take off the rubber bands and do the same thing to the pants as we did the sweatshirt. Take off all the rubber bands. And actually the pants were a more cotton material than the sweatshirt, so they look slightly different. But we're just going to rinse them off, and then we're going to be placing both of them in the washing machine and the dryer as we did with the last one to make the dye set in. Also, after rinsing and washing them, the dye kind of ran a bit, so we don't have as much white as I intended, but I still think they turned out very well. Here's our before, and now our after. Now we have our tank top, and I did this in a Target pattern. So here's the supplies you're going to need for this one. So we're going to take our tank top that I actually cropped and we're going to twist it and tie a bunch of rubber bands around it. It's going to end up looking kind of like I don't know, it looks like something out of Dr. Seuss if I'm being honest. So we're going to fill in the dye on every other section so we can leave enough white space. And I chose pink for this one, obviously. And then I just wanted to splatter paint a little bit on there, so I poured some on my trash bags area and just kind of like meshed it around. And now we're going to put it in the bag.
Tomorrow.
And take it out 24 hours later from the bag. And now we can take our rubber bands off. And here's our final result. There was like some white spots, so I ended up spot treating it to kind of make it look more like a bullseye, and then I rinsed it and threw it in the washing machine again and the dryer. Unfortunately though, my bullseye didn't come out as clear as I wanted it to because the colors sort of like bled together just a little bit, but it still turned out really well. Here's our before, and now our after. Lastly, we have some striped pattern socks. So here's what you need for this one. So we're going to be tying rubber bands around the socks in a very similar way as we did with the bullseye, except it's just literally in a line because we are making striped socks. So once we have our caterpillar looking sock, we're going to fill in every other color with green, and you can leave the rest white if you want to, but I decided I wanted to take a blue and fill in every open white part with the blue. And now we're going to place them in the bag.
Tomorrow.
And take it out 24 hours later. Now we're just going to take off all the rubber bands, the same process we've been doing on each one. And rinse them in the sink. And then of course throw them in the washing machine. And then the dryer. Here's our before, and now our after. Okay, so that's it for the DIYs. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe because I post new videos every Saturday at 3 p.m. EST, which is 12 p.m. PST. And make sure you turn the notification button on so you never miss another one of my videos. And give this video a big thumbs up. I will either see you in my next video next Saturday or my previous video, which you can click at the end. Love you guys so much. Bye!